Hey guys, Natural Health Nut Nicky here. How are you doing? Just out for a little stroll on the land. So the shower, sorry about the state of my hair. It's getting crazy. So we have two lives, the one we learn from and the one we get to live after that. So if we're lucky, the one that we learn from will be nice and short, it'll be fleeting. But the one that we get to live after that, the one that follows, should be long and plentiful. But that's not really how it tends to work in my experience. So I have a theory, and I've had it for quite a few years really. I've been thinking about it and it's been evolving. And I suppose I've been trying to think about a way, or the best way to articulate it. But most of us live our entire younger years as though we're kind of indestructible, naturally. Whether it be sort of climbing trees, riding our bike on the road, you know, as young kids, or whether it be sort of partying a little bit too long and a bit too hard in our 20s and 30s. And while obviously we are aware of death, I would say rarely does it enter the thinking of the sort of average younger person, which I think that's definitely my experience, and people around me would probably vouch for that. I hope it's yours too. But I suppose this awareness, it will become more apparent as we start to get older. And again, in my experience, my business as well as my personal experience, as we start to head towards that middle stage in our life, often symbolised by the big 4-0, this can often kind of change a person's whole outlook on everything. And in many cases, which I've seen with a lot of my clients, in many cases it can have a real dramatic effect, especially on the sort of mental state. Are they happy with the decisions they've made? Are they happy with where they are? You know, half your life's over, you start to panic a little bit. But when I was younger, I seem to remember it was kind of talked about as the midlife crisis or the nervous breakdown, you know. I think I even saw it in movies in the 80s. It was usually kind of portrayed by a man in their 40s having a bit of a crisis in their life, buying a sports car, getting an ear piercing, you know, or having an affair. And like I say, although it was subliminal, it was kind of synonymous when I was growing up. It was one of those kind of messages. And as I hurtled toward 40, it just so happened I was extremely unhappy in my job. I was feeling very stressed, very trapped. And in hindsight, no doubt it sort of unconsciously played on my mind a bit. However, I was extremely lucky. I had an event which kind of led me to make an extremely tough decision to completely change my working life, which was the main problem that I had. And it wasn't just for my sake, my sort of mental state was actually for my young family. Because for around about 10 years, I'd kind of trapped myself in a financial prison. It was one where I'd let my sort of relatively high paid job kind of dictate my happiness to me. So like many people, I know lots of people that go through this, I kind of convinced myself that there wasn't really anything out there to replace this financial income. So just keep your head down, stay, and slowly drain the life out of yourself, you know, in the process. But yeah, the event that happened to me was my first daughter arrived in 2016, and it kind of gave me the jolt that I needed. So I knew I had to change, and to do this, I had to bet on myself. So I had to, as I say, leave that job and bet that I could replace it in some way. And nearly 7 years on, 6.5, nearly 7 years on, and my incredible journey genuinely can only be described as a spiritual awakening. And I don't mean something mystical necessarily. I just mean an awakening to what's really important, what's within my control, what's not, what's really worth my energy. And as I say, the transformation has been absolutely amazing. It's been bliss. So now that I get to look back on that journey, you know, hindsight, there were a few things that were really big, really massive adjustments and things I had to just kind of accept for this to happen. And I thought I'd just list them here. So number one is, all nuance aside, money comes and goes. I know we need money to live, but take it back to its basics. If you can get your head around the fact money comes and goes, it will help you. Number two, people will judge you no matter what you do, so you may as well be doing something that you absolutely love. They're going to judge you anyway. Number three, doing something you hate because it pays well or it's attached to status, that's a fast track to a nervous breakdown, let alone a midlife crisis. Number four, the ego is extremely powerful, but rarely does it benefit you in any way if you boost it materialistically. You need to learn from it, you need to respect it, and you need to conquer it, and then your life will thrive. Number 5, taking time to yourself every day is not just important, it's a necessity. Every single day you need to, I don't know, go for a walk in nature, 10 minutes of breath work, meditation, or just sit in silence and listen to your own thoughts without any judgment. Do it every day, you need to do it. Number 6, grounding. Again, seems a bit airy-fairy, but every day take off your shoes and socks no matter what the weather is and go for a walk in the grass, on the beach. Number 7, again, we're beings of frequency. If you put out negative frequencies, you're generally going to feel accordingly. Put out positive ones, you get my point. It's not about law of attraction. If you're looking for something positive, you'll find it. If you're looking for something negative, you will find it, or it will find you. Number 8, this life is not a dress rehearsal. There's nothing after this. Make this one count. If you're halfway through it, make the next half count. Do all you can. Number 9, life truly begins at the end of your comfort zone. Every day you should be doing something that puts butterflies in your tummy, makes you feel a little bit anxious, a little bit uneasy. Number 10, the sky is the limit, only if that's where you set it. You set your bar low, you're going to have a comfy, cozy life, you're not going to progress. If you set it high, you're going to learn and grow every day. So as you head towards your 40s, or even into your 40s, and you begin to wake up to your own mortality, you kind of realise that half your life's gone. Don't have a midlife crisis or a nervous breakdown. Promise yourself a spiritual awakening. What that looks like for you, well, that's up to you to decide. For me, it was making decisions that I really wanted to make, but made me feel nervous, like moving to Portugal, leaving an established career, just going into an industry which is already pissing in the wind because obviously it's natural medicine, but I love it. Every day is a school day. Always be learning. Anyway, good vibes. Peace out, guys.